Evolutionary Podcast coming your way, guys. This is number 321. We have another Q&A episode coming your way. Stevesmi here. And Rick, as always. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Steve? What's up, guys? How's everybody doing out there?
All right, guys. So 5 great topics, guys. We're going to have a lot of fun with these, as always. And we're going to get into the first one. So the first one is an interesting one. Let me pull up the question here that he wrote, and he's over 50. We don't really talk about over 50, but we have a lot of listeners that are over 50 or that are approaching 50. That's great. You're halfway through your life when you're at 50, right? So he wants to know, what's a good over 50 beginner steroid cycle? And, first of all, if you get some guys, they don't start using steroids till they're over 50. Some guys get a late start in fitness. Some guys have been in fitness a long time. They just never got around to using steroids or PEDs. So they want to kind of get into it, and it's just not reserved for the younger guys. There's plenty of guys who are over 50. If you go to some of these bodybuilding shows, there's plenty of guys in their 50s, 60s, even 70s that are competing, and they're on the sauce. And we have plenty of guys on our forum who are over 50 as well. We have at least one moderator who's over 50. So let's get into this, Rick. What's a good over 50 beginner steroid cycle? What do you think about this question that came in?
All right. Well, if we're talking about a guy who's in his 50s or going into 50 and he hasn't been a big steroid user, because if you've been a big steroid user, you don't need me to tell you what will work. You should know by now, right? But if maybe you've only done 1 or 2 cycles and it's been a decade since the last time you juiced and you're going to get back into it, look, start with blood test, see what your estrogen is at. Maybe you need to lower your estrogen a little bit. Take a testosterone booster. Start with that if you haven't done so before. Try mine's into Generate. Go to hcgenerate.com. hcgenerate.com. Check it out. And just give that a shot. Lower estrogen and use the testosterone booster. See if maybe just shifting that balance between lowering estrogen, lowering sex hormone binding globulin a little bit, and just reactivating, just trying to get more life out of your latex cells. See how that works naturally. And if you still need a little bit extra help, if you still need a little bit of some extra androgens in your system, synthetics, then probably start off with the creams, which is our next part. Start off with the creams. Make sure you get some good DHEA cream. There's DHT creams out there. Make sure you get testosterone cream. There are different creams out there just to add a little bit. Now, if you do those things, if you boost natural testosterone a little bit, lower estrogen a little bit, lower sex hormone binding globulin a little bit, which are usually pretty high when you're older, and you raise your own natural testosterone production, maybe add a little bit of a cream, you're putting yourself now in the realm where you actually can build some decent muscle and get some tightness to your look, to your body. And you're not really on a real crazy cycle, and you're not really doing anything that serious at that point. Obviously, the next step up from that is maybe swap out the cream for injections and get on TRT, and make sure you get human growth hormone. If you're over 50, make sure you get a couple of IUs of human growth hormone every day. That's my plan. I've saved my human growth hormone use for my 40s and 50s. I didn't burn that out when I was young. So now that I'm heading into 40, now I can use some human growth hormone and peptides now and go that route. So testosterone, human growth hormone, some estrogen management, boosting your own natural levels. If you're 50, you want to take the herbals, because the herbals are going to help you enhance the whole testosterone experience. They're going to help with some of the mechanics of the erection. They're going to help, and especially tribulus is going to help the way your brain feels with that new testosterone. The tribulus just tends to make your brain more receptive to those androgens, plus everything else in the HC Generate. So just make sure to give that a shot. And that's all you need. If you're over 50 and you're just now getting started on steroids. And look, I'll tell you this, by the way, guys out there. There is an exception to the 5 to 8 year rule that I talk about on this podcast, where I tell people you should not touch steroids unless you've been training for 5 to 8 years natural. If you're 50 already, look, as long as you made the lifestyle change to make the gym a part of your life, to make clean eating part of who you are, just throw the sauce on top of it. As long as you're giving yourself at least a year of just good, healthy, clean eating and good habits as far as training consistently, just throw in the sauce, man. You're 50, you don't need to train 5 years. Just give it a shot if that's what you want to do. Matt, as a matter of fact, I think steroids really, as you get older, your decision to use them should be a lot easier. See, if you're in your 20s, if you're in your teens, 20s, even early 30s, really think about that shit. You don't want to use this stuff. It might have some side effects later down the line, 20, 30 years from now. And plus, your body's already making plenty of testosterone and human growth hormone and the things you need. So the decision is a lot harder. But as you get into your 40s, late 40s, 50, 60, what? It might do something 20 years from now. What? So what? Your testosterone is already low at that age. So add some more. Steroids in older forms really make a really big difference for you. It's a lot bigger difference for a guy who's 50 shooting 200 milligrams of testosterone per week than a guy who's 25 shooting those 200 milligrams of testosterone per week. The guy who's 25 might shoot the 200 mgs and say, this ain't shit. The guy who's 50 might shoot those 200 mgs and say, oh my God, this changed my life. So as you get older, I think that the decision to pull the trigger and do steroids should get easier. I mean, what are you worried about? I'm telling you guys that as I go on. Now, I've been using steroids my whole life. And as I said, human growth hormone. I tried it here and there, but it's not something I've stayed consistent with. Now it's going to be something I'll probably be adding a few months out of the year now, hopefully, if I get good quality stuff and I can afford it, right? I'm going to try. But now it's time to mess with it because now I'm getting to that age where it's really lacking. So human growth hormone, estrogen management, testosterone. Start with the creams and testosterone boosters. If you need a little more oomph, go with the injections. Stay on the testosterone boosters. If they make a nice difference, just cycle them in and out, but you should take them, my opinion. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, you gave good advice getting blood work done. I think that's just the step one. If you get blood work done, you got low testosterone, then going on testosterone, it's going to make a world of difference. You'll feel much, much better. And then growth hormone. What happens if your growth hormone is low? As we get older, our testosterone levels drop, but our growth hormone drops even more rapidly to levels that are really, really low. So, you can get really good results. If you have low testosterone and low growth hormone, which most people are going to, because of environmental factors, because of the foods we eat, because of the water we drink, because of, all kinds of things, the pesticides and herbicides that are all over the place, the air we're breathing, the oceans being polluted. All this stuff has caused an epidemic with low testosterone, low growth hormone. So if you find out you have low levels and you go on just a therapeutic amount of testosterone and a therapeutic amount of growth hormone, you'll feel much, much better. So that's what I would do. And then go from there. If you want to blast some steroids, blast some steroids. Just add it to your therapeutic dosages. And then you can always just run SARMs. You can run strong testosterone booster to N2 generate, what Rick mentioned. Excellent choice. And that can make all the world of difference. It can really give you an extra boost in the gym. Extra boost in the bedroom, extra boost with your career, and you'll feel a lot better. So, sky's the limit, guys. Just make sure you get blood work. Same goes for any age, but especially those over 50. If you're under like 45, I wouldn't even bother getting growth hormone tested. It's really, really expensive. But if you're over 50, for sure, get your growth hormone tested as well as your testosterone. Let's see where things are at. All right, guys. Next topic. Next one is using androgel testim versus injectable for TRT. Now, Rick, have you ever used the androgel? So let me explain what the androgel is first. So androgel is basically it's like a cream. So it's a topical, it's a transdermal testosterone. It's a topical gel. You apply it to your skin And it works its magic because it will absorb into the body and boost your testosterone levels. It's not as effective at doing it. It's not as good absorption as just injecting straight testosterone would be, but it does the trick when it comes to getting your levels to a TRT dose. And a lot of doctors would rather give you the androgel or the testim as a prescription in the United States, because they don't feel comfortable with you injecting. But a lot of doctors now these days are turning to injectables. I think 5 or 10 years ago, it was much more easier to get the gel, but now doctors are kind of realizing, hey, my clients are demanding I give them the injectable. So now it's very unusual to have a doctor say, no, I'm not giving you the injectable, I'm giving you the androgel. So I would say the benefits, Rick, of the injectable over the gel, to me, one of the big benefits that I would think was that the gel, you have to apply it every day. So basically with the androgel, you apply 5 to 10 grams every day on your body. It's got to absorb. You can't shower it off. You can't accidentally get some on your kids or your wife or your girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever. And that could be an issue versus just injecting once a week and being done. It takes 5 minutes to inject. You're good to go. The androgel, you got to make sure you take a shower, dry your skin. It's got to be a good, clean skin. It's got to absorb all this stuff. So to me, the injectable is a hell of a lot easier than the gel. But on the flip side, some people just don't want needles around the house if they have kids. I mean, Rick, you've got kids running around all the time where you are, so I'm sure you don't want your kid picking up a needle or something. He sees daddy injecting himself. So what's your opinion on this? Does that make sense?
Androgel works great. Injections also work much better, obviously, than the gels. Topical delivery, transdermal delivery of medications, ingredients is very effective, extremely effective. For years, I've been using Yahimbi topically to burn fat. There were a lot of really good topical anti-estrogens. Formistane, it's a great anti-estrogen. Works a lot like Masteron would as far as lowering estrogen. You could apply it topically. Arimistane, there were some arimistane versions in the market, probably still are, in a cream. It was an aromatase inhibitor. So delivering testosterone, delivering different hormones via the skin, it's been done for a while. Now, there are some limits as to how much you can actually deliver through the skin. You can load up a needle with a gram of steroids. Literally, you can put a gram of steroids in a needle, 4 cc's at 250 milligrams a cc, shoot that, and you just got a gram of hormones into your body. Now, in order to deliver a gram transdermally, it's going to be a lot tougher, and you won't be able to do it in just a 24-hour span. You won't be able to do it right away. You need consistency. You need to maybe apply it a couple times a day. Some compounds that you deliver through the skin need conversion via enzymes on certain parts of the skin. That's why certain products you'll get indications to use them on certain parts of your body, because you have different concentrations of different enzymes in different parts of your body. So once you apply and those enzymes have been kind of, I guess you could say, used up, there's a cycle between when they get cycled in and out. So then you won't be able to deliver a gram of anabolic steroids through your skin just like that, like you could with injectables. So in that regard, it depends how much you need and what you need. If you only need just a little boost, get a little more muscle tone, drop a little bit body fat, get your dick hard in the morning. If you just need a little bit, androgel will get you there. Older guy in your 50s, like just the last question we just handled, it'll get you there. You're fine. Little testosterone booster, I keep saying, manage estrogen. Put a little your hand flame on your nipples. You're going to have a nice look. You're fine. If you want more than that, if you want to put on 20 pounds of muscle, then I guess if you apply the androgel every single day and you ate right and you trained right, over years you'll keep gaining mass, because it'll just keep your androgen levels over what your body could produce naturally, but it'll take a while longer. If you really want to like crunch in and gain 20, 30 pounds in 2-3 months, the way most guys want to do, right? Most guys listening to this, then yeah, you're going to have to inject, because it is just a more efficient way to just get a lot more steroids into your body than you ever could through the skin. So if you need a lot more than that, if you need bigger dosing inside of your body, then yeah, you really do need to be injecting. That is, I guess, the answer. If you're just trying to enhance your life the way you feel, little androgen, little your hip flame around the fatty section, you look tight, feel good, dick is hard, getting a little muscle tone, make some progress in the gym when you do go, even if you're in your 50s, great. If you want to put on more mass, if you want to put on faster pounds, androgel won't get you there. You can't deliver enough. Go with injectables. Good deal? All right, Steve, what else you got?
All right, guys. Next topic. Let's get into the next topic. How to stay motivated to lift right now. This is a really good one. We've discussed this on prior podcasts a couple times, but circumstances have changed since we last talked about it. Huh, Rick? Right now, like a lot of people are going through a tough time. In the United States, I read something that if you make under $40,000 a year, 40% of people are now unemployed. So it's hard to, I always view the gym as something that, things are good in your life. You have, you want to better yourself. You got everything square. I like to go to the gym and just, be able to relax. And then now it's like you're scared to go to the gym. You're scared to pick up something. And then not everybody is being polite in the gym. Not everybody is wiping. Not everybody is wearing a mask. Not everybody is washing their hands. So how do you get motivated? Gyms are opening up all over the place. My gym actually just opened today, believe it or not, Rick. My gym opened today. And I'm not motivated to go, man. So, I'm more motivated just to stay home and work out. Why should I go back to the gym? And the thing is, the gym environment is something that's really, really wonderful. The gym environment gives you that push. You got hot chicks, you got beefed up guys, and everybody's pushing each other, So what are some ideas to help you get motivated? What are you doing right now to stay motivated, right?
Steve, it's unfair for me to even answer this question because I'm in the fitness industry. I do this podcast, right? We have 2 episodes a week. Now I'm doing the Elite Fitness podcast. Do that once a week. I run a supplement company. I'm always posting on Facebook. By the way, guys, if you're not following me on Facebook, then you're missing out because I'm going to post all of the podcast episodes there, updates. I'm always posting content. Go to rickyvrock.com. That's RICKY. V is in victory, ROCK.com. And you can follow me and check out some of the other content. So it's really unfair for me to answer that because it's my life. It's my lifestyle, staying in shape, keeping my stomach tight, keeping my body dry, experimenting on myself. I'm doing a Anavar run right now because I'm going to write a little pamphlet for guys on Anavar only cycles. So I'm logging my progress. And then by the time I'm done with this little Anavar only run that I'm going to do, I'll be able to offer some nice content to people. So my personal situation through all this, staying in shape, getting to the gym, and I'm not even going to the gym. I got my weights at home, obviously, right? But just getting my training done, making sure that I don't slip up on my diet. This is just what I need to do for work, for what I do. And hopefully maybe I can inspire other people. Hopefully if you come out, follow me on Facebook, check out the other content, stay with this podcast. Maybe you'll stay focused on the goal. Maybe you'll stay focused on keeping your body strong, keeping your mind strong. I don't know. I think I can't answer it because I'm already motivated. This is what I do every day. And for you guys out there listening, just keep watching, listen to this. Keep working out at home. If you don't feel good about the cooties at the gym, just work out at home, but keep training. Go for a run. Keep training. Don't stop training. Don't stop exercising your body. It's fine if you don't want to go to the gym. That's okay. It's not okay if you don't want to train. It's not okay if you don't want to push yourself. It's not okay if you don't want to push yourself to exhaustion. Get some endorphins moving through your system. That's not okay. That's not all right. So yeah, I mean, look, if you don't want to go to the gym, don't fucking go. Lift some weights at home, do some calisthenics, just keep training. Keep training, and that's it. What do you think, Steve?
I think some ways that you can get motivated is by buying some new shoes. How about that one? Buy some new workout apparel. That can get you motivated. How about some music? Music is very motivational. That's why they put music in movies, especially in if you watch like action movies or movies where guys are working out. Remember the Rocky movies? They always have the little workout montage, and they have the motivational music, stuff like that.
I'll give you some meathead talk for getting motivated. This is what you do. You get yourself a little book, a little journal. You don't need to buy a new one, just whatever you got laying around. Take a picture of today. Start writing the date, measurements, weights, everything. If you got a caliper your skin, pictures. Grab your shit, whatever you got in your cupboard. If you need to order some stuff, then order it up. And just see what you can do in 4 weeks with your body. Clean eating, clean diet. See what you can get. See how far things can get you. Give that a shot. That'll get you motivated. Track your progress. Put together a good program and track your progress all the way and see how that does for you. That's a good way to get motivated. See what supplements you got. Get some stuff. Put a program together. Pictures. Take pictures. Take pictures every day. That'll get you motivated. I think if you track, if you take pictures, if you got a program, if you got supplements you want to take, got this Anavar cycle, adding your hand flame, taking Entuslin, obviously taking Entugar with it, added HG Generate ES is a testosterone booster for it. With my little 50 milligrams of Anavar per day, we'll do a little 4-week run. We'll see how many points I can dial back on my body fat, and if I can put on some extra mass at the same time. Just give that a shot. That motivates me. Getting all my shit together, getting all my products together, getting all my gear together, running it, logging it, talking about it with my friends, coming back on a podcast and discussing it with you and the guys on the forums. You saw the pictures. I posted the pictures of the stuff on the forums, on Facebook too. That gets you motivated. Just put a program together and do it. Run it. That'll get you off your ass real fast.
If you come on the forum and start a thread or like a log and just track your progress, put up pictures, say what you're doing, that will kind of keep you motivated, because now everyone else is going to be pushing you on the forum. It's kind of like peer pressure. So that really works. And it's a good way for you to kind of have a diary without having to actually write stuff down like in a book. You can actually come on the computer and type out a diary every day and kind of keep the progress up. So I think that's a really good idea. And then, one of the things you could do if you're single, and I've done this many times, being single is a great opportunity to better yourself without, having to worry about performing, about entertaining a person every night, or spending time on the phone with them, or spending time texting back and forth, because that's what people love doing now. So if you're single, be like, look, I'm not going to date for 4 weeks or 8 weeks or 10 weeks or 12 weeks, whatever. And just be like, look, I'm going to make my body the best body possible. I'm going to get my body so good that I'm going to be confident when I do go on a date that that girl is going to be more attracted to me, because she's going to sense that I'm confident and I have a lot of self-esteem, but I'm not cocky, because being cocky is not sexy at all. Being cocky actually is low self-esteem. But when you're a confident person, you don't gotta show yourself off. You don't gotta try to impress people. You don't gotta put up a bunch of pictures of you with abs and stuff on dating websites. No, you can just put a picture of yourself wearing regular clothes, and a girl's gonna look at it and she's like, "Wow, this guy looks confident. He dresses sharp. He has a nice body." She'll know you have a nice body just the way you're dressed. You don't have to show it off.
Pictures with animals. I read on a article a little while ago that, and it seems that women pictures of guys with pets on their profile. Just so you know, if you guys do the dating site thing, which I don't really partake in, but many of you out there know do.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty sure if you don't like animals, you're not gonna get very far with people these days. I mean, you won't get far with me at least. All right, guys. So the next one is best kitchen appliances that you recommend. So this is a good one. We actually had a guy on the forum. He was a salesman. He actually travels all over the Midwest and travels by car. He's a salesman. And I actually suggested to him, because he was complaining he can't find, healthy options because, restaurants on the road, it's all gut food, which it is. So I actually suggested that he can take some appliances with him, just put them in his car. There's a couple good ones that I recommend. Number one, crock pot. Crock pots are very, very good. The crock pot, all you need is some broth. You can make the broth on your own, or you can buy the broth in the store. I get like the organic broth. It's got nothing bad in it. Very, very good quality, high quality. You don't want to get the cheap broth. Put the broth in the crock pot. Set it on like medium for the day. Throw in some meat, whatever meat you want to get, and then just let it slow cook all day and go do your thing, go to work, go to the gym, do whatever you got to do. And that thing will just slow cook all day. And then in the evening, you can add some rice to it. You can add vegetables. I like to add rice, vegetables, and then like whatever meats I'm using, maybe some chicken and honey. I like to add honey as well. Honey is a secret ingredient. If you ever try it, you'll know that you can remember that I recommended it. And oh my God, it's amazing. Make sure that the meat is well cooked. You have the thermometer, stick the thermometer in the meat. And it's a delicious meal. And then a nice thing about it is you can make a whole thing of crock pot and then just store whatever you don't eat. And it's kind of it's a really, really good meal. And that's my recommendation. And you can just travel. Like you can put it in your car and travel anywhere as long as there's a plug in your hotel room. When you're traveling, you can just plug it in and just go to the supermarket and grab the meat, the plain meat, throw it in there. Get some vegetables, get some rice, throw it in there for the day. Very, very easy to do. So what's your recommendation, Rick, on a good kitchen appliance that people can use?
Look, I think the three main appliances that I like, because I like electricity. I mean, gas cooking is fine. So the best way to cook, I found, even to cook outdoors, is you need three things. You need a rice cooker with a second stage for your vegetables. You need an air fryer, and you just need an electric grill. And it is just a pleasure to cook outdoors if you have these three items. You need some extension cords. You might have to grab a couple of extension cords and use different plugs in the house so you don't overload any one of the circuits and have your fuses popping off. But it is so nice. These things have timers on them. You could just set the timer, set the temperature, put the food on there, and just forget it. Go sit down with your guest, entertain your guest, have fun. It's just a breeze. And so you set the rice. You could put pasta in there, noodles in there with your rice, whatever. On the second stage, it'll allow you to cook, to steam your vegetables with all the steam coming off the rice. These are real easy to find out there, guys. And then with your grill, you could take sweet potatoes or even do some wings or whatever. Put them in the air fryer, right out, plug it in, extension cords right outdoors. Outdoor extension cords, you're fine. Just make sure you have outdoor grade extension cords proper, obviously, right? And just make sure that if you have sweet, let's say if you're doing some sweet potatoes in the air fryer, you want to take the sweet potatoes, you're going to cut them up and you put sweet potato wedges. You want to slice them up, throw them in a big bowl and wet them up, and just make sure you slather them with coconut oil. Throw your salt and your spices on there, whatever you like to do, and then throw them in the air fryer. As they cook, some of that coconut oil is going to fall off of them and go into the catch pan right in the air fryer. So what you want to do is every several minutes, you want to stop for a minute, take out the wedges, throw them back on the big bowl where you slathered them in coconut oil, drop some of the coconut oil that fell off of them. You got to tilt over the catch pan and just bathe them in the same coconut oil that was coming off of them with your spices and your salt, and throw them back in there. Do that a couple of times. They'll be nice and toasty outside, and they'll just basically be fried sweet potato wedges in coconut oil on an air fryer, and they taste delicious. And again, your meats, you set your temperature. It's just so nice to use electricity and cook and forget. And I know you said kitchen appliances, and I'm talking about outdoors cooking, but these two, my air fryer and my rice pot, they stay on my kitchen shelf all the time. These are everyday use items. My electric grill, not so much. I do end up cooking a lot with gas just because the stove is there and I had a gas stove to begin with. Even when I do outdoors, I don't like doing gas outdoors. It's just electricity. Just so much nicer. Set it, forget it. When you have an electric pan and you're cooking meats and stuff on it, you don't have this issue with grease flaring up and charring your meat. You can control your temperatures. And if you have a well-designed a flat iron where you're cooking all your meats, it'll drain all the juices out into a safe place. You don't have open fires. I mean, it's just a really nice, pleasant, convenient way to cook indoors, outdoors. Just air fryer, electric rice cooker. Look, now they even have egg cookers. They have these little egg cookers where you can make 6 hard-boiled eggs in just a few minutes with a tiny bit of water and a little device with a timer on it. A lot of this electric stuff, it just makes life so much easier, and it's so easy to clean compared to anything else you do out there. So I guess when it comes to appliances, I'm just got to tell everybody, try to go electric as much as you can, in my opinion. Stuff is just a lot nicer to deal with. And this is for a few people, right? It's a good solution if you have a small gathering. If you have a large gathering, obviously you might want to fire up the grill and just have that gas just pouring out heat on a lot of meat and a lot of stuff you're doing. And then it's worth the cleanup if you're serving, 40, 50 people. But if you have a small gathering, less than 10 folks, I'm telling you, these 3 appliances will take good care of you, and you won't have a lot of cleanup afterwards.
All right, guys. So the last topic of the day is how to prevent bodybuilding and your bodybuilding goals, your bodybuilding careers from getting in the way of your marriage or your relationships. And this is actually something that, hits home for me because I used to compete back in the day. I competed in powerlifting and I competed in endurance. And when I was at my peak in endurance, as an endurance athlete, I was in a relationship with a very nice girl. And the running did affect us. It did affect us because, I'd go running, do some 6-mile runs in the evening, and, it kind of drove a wedge in with us. And it was really a weird situation because I felt like she wasn't supporting me, as much as she should in my goals. And it was hard, in that situation. I think she felt like I wasn't giving her enough attention. And I think it was one of the reasons our relationship got doomed, So I think it's definitely a valid question. And I can see in bodybuilding it even being a worse situation, because in bodybuilding you have to so focus on it if you want to succeed in it. You have to so focus on one thing, and you kind of have to put your family and your relationship on the back burner. There's a lot that goes into bodybuilding and when it comes to competitions. So, I mean, I could definitely see this as like a valid question. And let's say the person you're with just doesn't understand fitness. They don't understand how fitness is important to you. They don't understand how the hobby, the life. So maybe they have a problem with you spending, an hour, hour and a half, commuting and spending time at the gym and then commuting back home. Maybe they have a problem with that. So it hasn't been a big problem for me in the past, but I could see how it could affect people, and it's been a problem, once or twice for me. So I'm bringing in Rick here. Do you think that that's been an issue with you? You're pretty conservative guy though, because usually you like women who are, not as career oriented and who don't mind you, monetizing fitness and putting in a lot of time in fitness and stuff, right?
I'm very independent. I've always been. So I kind of do the things that I know I need to do and kind of expect things to just harmonize with whomever's in my life. If it becomes just too much of a friction, too much of a friction point, then it's just not worth it. We're not aligned. It took me years and years to learn that. When it comes to actually having bodybuilding dreams, when you're a bodybuilder, you have to take your meals with you everywhere. You have to make sure to prioritize your eating schedule, your training schedule, your drug taking schedule, your supplement schedule. That has to take priority over everything. And like Kai Green said on a video I saw a few days ago, and the better you get, the less room for mistakes that you have. The more muscle you build, now this part I'm saying, the more muscle you build, the more you refine your physique, the easier it is to slip away from you if you just let up. The more muscle you hold on you, just the more progress you've made closer to just the perfect body that you're looking for, the easier some of that more recent progress will slip away from you if you let up. So you'll find most bodybuilders have a significant other that supports their lifestyle, that doesn't feel threatened. You see, the fact that you have to focus so much on the way you look and how you eat and the drugs you take and you're sleeping and everything, where you can't be on call for certain things, where vacations are not just any regular vacation because you still have to get your protein in. And you end up having to find significant others that understand it to the point where they don't feel threatened by it the way most people would. So you have to, it's a hard lifestyle being a bodybuilder, just that consistency. It's the hardest part of being a professional bodybuilder, besides the fact that you have to have the genetics to tolerate the drugs over decades and also have the muscle structure, but just the consistency. And it's not consistency where you can let up a day or two per month and be okay. No, that's too much. Letting up 2 days per month, it's 24 days in a year. That's almost a whole month of progress that you're not getting. No, you have to be consistent to the hour with every meal, with every hour of sleep. You have to be consistent. And so this is what's in your heart, this is what you want to do, and your significant other, it's not in tune with that. If they can't be by your side and understand that this is extremely important to you and you live a different lifestyle, if they can't be there for you, not be threatened by it, you're going to have to either give up the lifestyle or give them up. But both are probably not going to be able to survive in the same space. What do you think, Steve?
I take a different perspective on this. What about the situation like I don't drink at all? And I'll tell you, it really, listen, women our age, I know women my age, a lot of them, they like to drink, especially like wine. They love to go to wine tasting. They have wine memberships. They like to go to Whole Foods and go on the wine aisle and grab a nice thing of wine and champagne and cheese and stuff like that. And, that's a type of thing that that a lot of women, they want the guy to drink with them. They want to take the guy to the wine tasting, and that's just not my scene. Like, I'm not one of those, preppy guys who, likes to go to wine tastings, and I've got like my sweater and my scarf and like the goofy hat and stuff. But I'll go with my my girl, to the wine tasting and stuff. But I don't partake in the drinking. But I go and I watch her, and she seems to have a good time. So I mean, you can still participate in it without actually, drinking. So, but yeah, a lot of women. I can remember I dated this girl, and she was a drinker. She was in the military. And one of the things that they teach you in the military, those of you who are veterans, this, they teach you to drink. One of the things, it's kind of like that peer pressure thing. So she drank like a sailor, a drunken sailor. She would drink beer, and every night she'd drink, and she'd go out once or twice a week and go out with her friends from work, and they'd get wasted, and she'd come home 3, 4 o'clock, taxi would bring her home. So, I mean, it's to me, if a girl drinks like that, I will never date someone like that again. It's just not going to work. And on the flip side, right off the bat, I try to make women understand, look, I'm not going to go with you. I'll go with you to the wine tasting, but I'm not going to drink any wine with you. I don't mind if you have a beer. We go to the game. I don't mind if you drink a beer, but I'm not going to drink any myself. So you just got to make it clear right away. Look, that's part of getting to know somebody, especially like on a first date. And she should be asking you those questions on a first date, about your lifestyle and stuff. Those are important questions. And if she doesn't agree, to date you, even though she knows that she's never going to take you to a restaurant, to a nice winery, to Napa Valley and all this stuff to drink, because every woman my age, that's their dream vacation, right, Rick? They want to go to Napa Valley, and they want to visit the wineries, and they want to drink and all that shit. And I'm not,
Yeah, that's why I don't date women your age, Steve.
Well, I think younger women are more into going to clubs and drinking hard liquor, though. So it kind of, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of women drink nowadays. They don't smoke.
A lot of people fucking drink, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of people drink. Alcohol has been part of our civilization since there was civilization. Apparently, and don't quote me on this because I could be wrong, but apparently the oldest forms of writing that were actually found were counting some of the stuff that was used to make liquor for the time. It seems like we might have started settling and planting crops so we can have a reliable source to make alcohol.
I know in the 1800s, the United States, alcohol was drunk pretty regularly because water was very hard to come by. Good clean water was hard to come by. So they would have to drink either like apple cider or they have to drink water, especially around the Civil
War. Depending where you were. Yeah, depending where you were at. Yeah.
But like a lot of past presidents from that era were drunks. I think Ulysses S. Grant was an alcoholic. Several of the presidents around that time were alcoholics, and it was just something.
Yeah, there are just functional alcoholics and non-functional alcoholics. There are alcoholics that can become world leaders and see a country through a crisis and then retire and then continue to die drinking. And then you have a guy who just has a six-pack after work every day and watches SportsCenter, and he'll never fucking accomplish a fucking thing in his life. And all he does is he's just Joe's six-pack, one six-pack after work, and that's just enough to cripple his whole life. And then you'll get some guys that are world leaders, even though they're drunks. And it's just what it is. It's some people, like every drug, some people can handle certain drugs, some people can't.
Yeah, but I mean, I refuse to date a drunk or alcoholic. It's just not worth it. It's not my job to play, AA, with
define date. I'll go out with girls that drink. I don't care. But like making a life with somebody who drinks, fuck no.
No.
She's got to be in the gym grind. She's got to watch her diet, all of that. But just like someone to hang out with casually or shit, even go on a trip with or something, why the fuck not? You can go ahead and drink. That's fine. No issue.
The one I was talking about who's in the military, she was abusive towards me. So she'd get abusive when she would drink. And that was around the time I actually ended up going to the hospital a few times because of her.
I've spent time with girls on places, trips where they drink. I don't drink, and it's fine. remember just off the top of my head, I remember this girl, Miami Beach. I hung out with her there for about 4 or 5 days. There's a business associate I used to see in Miami Beach, and she went with me this time. So had my meeting. It's only one day, but stayed 4. And she drank all 4 nights. I hung out with her. You know, we'd already intimate, so it was fine to be intimate with her when she was drunk because we'd been intimate before when she was sober. It's fine. But it was cool. You know, I hang out with her. We'd get to the hotel, make love. Next day, she was like passed out. I'd get out of the room, go get my cardio in, go lift my weights. I mean, what you can do in a hotel with what they got. And then, you know, by the time I was like already almost halfway done through my day, some emails answered and everything, she was just rolling out of bed, feeling nasty. It's great because I felt like I had almost half of the day to myself. You know what I mean? It was cool. I just didn't sleep a lot. Only slept 4 hours, but as long as you're not intoxicated, sleeping 4 hours is fine. You just get up, go get your training done, get some work done, get shit done, and before they're rolling out of bed. I don't mind it at all. Obviously, I'm not gonna make a life with this person, but just to have just a pretty sweet thing to have him in bed while you're here on a business meeting / just quick weekend getaway. Why the fuck not? And going to listen, and it's pretty fun actually. If you're like me, just a happy person, you go to a club where people are gathering and they're all drunk. It's kind of cool. It's like you're invisible. It's like you got superpowers. You're like walking in between people, listening over conversations, watching people do weird stuff. It's something else. It's cool. So I guess that all depends on the context of, you know, they say there's how does that old saying go, Steve? That cliche. There is the right girl and the right now girl, right? So it depends how serious you're taking things and how involved this person is going to be in your lifestyle, whether them being a social drinker or just a fucking alcoholic, if that really matters, you know?
One of the red flags, I once went out with this girl. We met up for lunch. It was like 12 o'clock, and she was drinking like hard liquor already. Like it was like 12 o'clock. So that was like a red flag that this person they need.
Red flag is in what? And it's in like, okay, I'm probably not gonna take her to meet my mother. Or red flag is in like, oh shit, I better get some condoms because she's gonna want to fuck today. Like red flag is in what?
No, I mean red flag is in we're dealing with like an alcoholic here. She's got to be drinking hard liquor at 12 o'clock noon.
Yeah, I mean, and again,
just imagine what she's gonna be drinking at 7.
Yeah, I wouldn't want her waiting for junior after school. Definitely, yeah, probably not.
Yeah,
probably wouldn't want her waiting for junior after school. No,
not driving junior home. You mean?
Yeah, no. But would I mind her laying next to me tonight? Not a big deal. It's fine. It's not an issue. Why? Why not? You know what I mean? It's fine. I mean, it depends. Again, it depends the context of things, right?
Well, my morality makes me reject.
Get the fuck out of here.
Womenizing. You're a woman. You know, if you got a map of the world and you got like tags and you stuck a tag on every city that you hooked up with a girl, Miami Beach, talk about Miami Beach, the Bronx, Vegas, California, Colombia, Argentina, Venezuela, what else countries? Fucking
That's
China.
all the plugs that I know. Just say that. Just say that's all.
We run out of tax if we had to do that. We're actually going to do that in the next podcast.
I'm not. Just cut it out, man. You're going to make people at home think that you're serious. Come on, man. Cut it out.
All right, guys. Listen, Evolutionary Org, guys, keep the questions coming. We hope we answer your. I don't even remember what the question was on this, but I don't know. We ended up talking about something totally different.
Yeah. Went down that rabbit hole.
We appreciate you guys listening, guys. That's the fun part about this podcast. We just we improv it. So we have another episode next week coming. We have another compound episode. We have another Q&A. So check it out. All right, guys. Stevesmi and Rick, have a good one.
Have a good one, Steve. Have a good one, guys.
Guys, this is the required legal disclaimer. We are only sharing our experience from years of steroid use. We are not doctors, and none of what we say should be regarded as medical advice. Always check with your doctor before taking any drugs or starting any training program.